What's up everybody, and welcome to Servant Studios. This video is about money, particularly how you can use your love of photography to make a little bit of extra income. The ironic thing about a lot of creative people is that they're creative in terms of art, but not necessarily creative in terms of how to make money from their art. The goal of this video is to show you guys different opportunities that you can provide a lot of value with your camera, and in return, people will be very happy to pay you for solving some of their problems. So you have a camera. Now, regardless of the type of camera you have or the type of lens you have, if you understand how to use that camera to make beautiful images, you can add value to someone's life or a business's life. Now, the easiest and most common way to make money from your photography is actually to help out with weddings. When you're first starting, unless someone knows you and they really trust you, you're probably not going to get hired as a wedding photographer by yourself. What you want is the opportunity to build your portfolio while working with other wedding photographers. Now, some people offer to be an assistant and just learn how wedding photographers work. Other people offer to be interns. What I suggest is you go take photos of your family, you take photos at events, and you build some sort of portfolio. Now, I'm not a huge proponent for Facebook in terms of how they use people's data, but it is true that if you have a Facebook account, it is much easier to network with other photographers and get an opportunity to be someone's second shooter, meaning that you'll assist them on a wedding day. There are plenty of second shooter photography groups all over Facebook, depending on which geographic location you are in. And I suggest getting your name out there, telling people that you're new, telling people that you're just looking for an opportunity to get started. If you do that consistently, you are likely to find someone will give you an opportunity, whether it's paid or whether it's free, to build your portfolio. You really just need that opportunity to get some sort of wedding photos in your portfolio, and that's what you can use to leverage to get paid second shooter opportunities. Now, depending on your region, a lot of second shooter opportunities for weddings tend to start at $50 an hour, and they tend to be 6 to 8 hours. So that's easily $300 to $500 you can get in one weekend. And if the goal is $1,000, that'll get you there in about 3 to 4 shoots. The second idea I have for making your first $1,000 as a photographer is headshots. Now, headshots are really important to a lot of business professionals and creative professionals. But depending on the type of work someone is getting their headshot for, depends on the type of headshot you should be looking to do. For example, if someone is an artist or a creative, you want a headshot that's going to speak to their art or their creativity. But if someone is working for a consulting firm like Deloitte, then you may want more of a buttoned-up headshot. I suggest learning artificial lighting, and I'll be doing a couple lighting videos on this channel. But if you are just starting, you may not have some of the funds to buy some of the artificial lighting equipment. Golden hour, which is about an hour before sunset, where the sun's not right above, but it's lower and it's a little bit more yellow or gold outside, is a great time to take your headshots. You can use the sun, and you want to get the person's face about 3/4 filled with the sun. So you don't necessarily want it just all filled, but you can do that. But just having a little shadow under the jaw here or under the jaw here is a great way to still have distinguishable but professional headshots. For the third idea, one of the smartest things you can do is align yourself with someone who can use photography. If you know of someone who does events, if you know of someone who's an artist, if you know a birthday's coming up, or anything where photography could be useful, simply asking whoever's throwing that event, hey, what is your budget for photography? And is that something that will be useful for this event? It's a great way to get an opportunity to shoot. Now, when you become more of a seasoned photographer, you'll be looking for more specific pay. But when you're first starting out, the beauty in it is that getting paid $50 is a big deal to shoot. So you'll be willing to do that in most cases. It is important that if you're going to start off doing lower prices or more budget prices, and there are a lot of people online who will be asking for budget photography, take those gigs, improve, get better, but understand when you have hit a level that it's time for you to exit. When you have a full portfolio, you don't necessarily want to work at lower prices forever, or you'll get burnt out and you'll be spending a lot of time but not really having the money to balance the time you're spending. And essentially, you'll not have a side hustle, you'll just have a second job. And that's not really the goal. Even people who do photography full time, they charge prices way larger than most people who do side hustle because they understand that their time is extremely valuable and it is a business for them. It is not necessarily a charity thing for them. So the third way to get to $1,000 is just talk to people who you know who could use photography. Ask them what their budget is for photography and if having photos would be valuable to them, and shoot. It may be a little stressful, but put it out on your story like, hey, I'm building my photography portfolio. If you have a lower budget and you just want some good high-level photos, reach out to me, tell me what your budget is, and we'll figure something out. That's a great way to get some clients, get some experience, build your portfolio, and get to your first $1,000. Now, the fourth way to get to $1,000 does require more specific knowledge and expertise. If you have a lens that is smaller than 24 millimeters, meaning if you have a 14 to 24 focal length lens or you have a 16 millimeter focal length, and I'm using full frame equivalents. So if you have a crop lens, 16 millimeters really is 24. So if you have crop, you would need something like 11 millimeters to be able to do this effectively, is real estate photography. Real estate photography is something that there are plenty of YouTube videos about, and you can use that to learn. And most realtors will pay you anywhere from $200 to $400, even if you're starting out, to get some good images and good captures for their houses. If you know someone who just became a realtor or who's a realtor trying to build their business, reach out to them. And if you have the right lens and you do your research on how to capture real estate photography, that will be a great way to get to your first $1,000. Now, the last idea I have is similar to the real estate idea, but it's not specifically real estate. It's much broader, and you don't need a specific lens for this. You just need to be good at taking photos. Again, golden hour will be a great time for this. And the idea is to go to your favorite restaurant or go to any restaurant, really, any building that has a specific owner that may want the photo of their building in their restaurant. And just take beautiful images of it. And when you get an opportunity, print it out, small, cheap, 30 cents, 40 cents, and try to get in contact with that restaurant owner. You can also do this via email, but if you do that, I suggest watermarking your image, because if you send the image, then they could technically just print it out themselves, and that takes away the point. But if you are able to capture very high quality images of something like a restaurant, and you may want to shoot it at an angle, like a 3/4 angle. If you just shoot it head on, then make sure there's something that's exciting in the image, but shooting it at a 3/4 angle or something that's different than what someone would have done with their iPhone is what's really going to distinguish you with this. And what you would just pitch to them is, hey, I have this really high quality photo of your restaurant. I wanted to see if you'd be interested in a print. And you figure out how much it would cost for you to print that in a way that they would actually want it in their restaurant. Figure out the size that makes sense, and then pitch them on how much it would cost for them to get this quality print. For example, hey, my company is Servant Studios, and I took this beautiful photo of your restaurant. I am curious if you'd be interested in having this in your restaurant. I'm selling the print for it for $200 or $300. Obviously, if you do this for 3 or 4 restaurants, even a restaurant like McDonald's, if you're able to get the general manager on board and you get a beautiful sky behind the McDonald's, or you get the moon behind the McDonald's, those are great ways for you to be able to sell a print to a restaurant owner, have your work up in a building, and also get to your first $1,000. And the bonus way to make money with restaurants is they also are selling food, obviously. So you can offer to take photos of their food. Now, if you're going to do this, take advantage of the opportunity and make sure you understand how to light food properly. Try it on your food at home, and then you can pitch this to restaurants, and you may actually end up with retainer clients as opposed to just getting your first $1,000. And that's another great way to build a portfolio, build clientele, and really turn photography into a side hustle. There are so many more ideas out there, and there are so many more ideas out there. So if you like this video, let me know, and I will make more videos with more ideas. I'll bring in other photographers and see what their ideas are, because I do want people to be able to make money from their camera, but I also want you guys to be able to do it at a professional level. And in this channel, we'll be talking about that professional side in terms of how to take the good images, but we'll also be talking about the business side in terms of how to sustain yourself financially with those good images. Until next time, this is Servant Studios.